All right, let's talk about something huge. We're diving into a piece of legislation that's set to change, well, pretty much everything about technology, the EU's AI Act. So let's get straight to it. And really, this gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? AI is just everywhere now. It's in your phone, it's helping your doctor, it's probably deciding what you see online. But, and this is the big but, how do we make sure it's all being done safely, ethically, legally? How do we build trust into the system? Well, that's exactly the challenge the EU is trying to tackle with this new AI Act. So, for the past, 10 years or so, AI development has felt like the Wild West. Seriously, it's been this incredible gold rush where innovation is just exploding, moving at a speed that's almost impossible to keep up with. But the rules, the laws, they've been left in the dust. It's been a free for all. And just look at this jump. I mean, think about it. In 2016, there was just one law on the entire planet that even mentioned AI. Fast forward to 2022, and boom, 37. That's not a slow crawl, that's an absolute explosion. It's like governments all over the world woke up at the same time and said, whoa, okay, we need to get a handle on this. The race to write the rulebook for AI was officially on. So, into this race steps the European Union. And their approach? It's not about creating a bunch of small, disconnected rules. Nope, they decided to go big. They're building one single, comprehensive rulebook for the whole thing. And you gotta understand, the goal here is way bigger than just regulating AI in Europe. They're trying to set the global benchmark. They want to define for everyone what trustworthy AI actually means. So what's the big idea behind it all? It's actually pretty simple, putting people first. The whole act is built on this really fundamental idea that AI has to be a tool that serves us, humanity. It's a huge shift in focus, right? It's not just about, hey, look at this cool new thing that tech can do. It's about asking, okay, but how does this affect our health, our safety, our basic rights? Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work in practice? Well, to get it, you really need to wrap your head around one core concept, the AI risk pyramid. It sounds kind of fancy, but it's a really simple, really powerful idea. Basically, it sorts every AI system into different categories based on one thing, how much risk it poses to you and me. And this risk-based idea, it's the engine driving the whole law. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all situation. Think about it. An AI that recommends a new song for you is totally different from an AI that's helping a doctor diagnose cancer, right? The Act gets that. So the rule is simple. The bigger the potential risk, the stricter the rules. Makes sense. So let's start at the bottom of the pyramid with limited risk. This is going to cover most of the AI you bump into every day. The big rule here is just one word, transparency. So if you're talking to a customer service chatbot, they have to tell you you're not talking to a real person. If you're watching a deepfake, it has to be clearly labeled as one. It's pretty straightforward. It's all about making sure you're not being tricked. Okay, now we're moving up a level to the high risk category. And this is where things get really serious. We're talking about AI systems where if something goes wrong, it can have a huge impact on your life. We're talking about AI used in medical devices, or the algorithm that decides if you even get a job interview, or the system that says yes or no to your loan application. As you can imagine, the rules for these guys are super strict. And then we get to the very top of the pyramid, unacceptable risk. These are the AI systems that the EU has decided are just too dangerous for our rights, for our society. So dangerous, in fact, that they're just banned, flat out. The EU has drawn a very clear line in the sand here, saying some uses of AI are completely off limits. And they're not being vague about it either. They're talking about specific things. For example, social scoring systems run by governments? Banned. Scraping billions of facial images off the internet to build giant databases? Not allowed. What about AI that's designed to manipulate you or take advantage of your vulnerabilities? Banned. Or AI that tries to read your emotions at work or at school? Also banned. They're getting really specific. Okay, so we have these risk levels, unacceptable, high, limited. That's great, but it begs the question, who's actually on the hook for making sure all these rules are followed? Let's break down who is responsible for what. The Act basically creates two main jobs here. First up, you've got the provider. That's the company that actually develops the AI and puts it on the market. Their main job is to build it right and make sure it's legal from the get-go. Then you have the deployer. That's, say, the hospital or the bank that's actually using the high-risk AI. Their job is to use it the way it was intended and, critically, to make sure there's always a human watching over it. And for those companies making the high-risk stuff, oh man, their to-do list is intense. They have to have a solid risk management plan for the AI's entire life. They have to use really high-quality data to train it, to make sure it's not biased. And this is a huge one. They have to design it so that a human can jump in and override it at any time. It's all about building that safety and accountability right into the code from day one. All right, so we've looked at the law, the rules, the categories. But what does this look like in the real world? How does a company actually do all this? How do you go from a legal document to a functioning compliance system? And that's the million-dollar question for thousands of companies right now. It's one thing to read the law, right? It's a whole other thing to build a system that actually follows it. The good news? They don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's actually a really useful tool out there that lines up perfectly with the AI Act's goals. It's the NIST AI Risk Management Framework. It basically gives companies a roadmap. You start with govern, which is all about getting everyone in the company thinking about risk. Then you map out what could go wrong. After that, you measure just how bad those risks are. And finally, you manage them. You put your resources where the biggest problems are. You know, one of the most interesting things in the entire act is this idea of AI literacy. It's basically saying that this is a new required skill. It says that everyone involved, the people who build it, the people who use it, even the people affected by it, needs to have a certain level of understanding. And it's not just about knowing how to code. It's about being aware of the good and the bad so we can all use these powerful tools responsibly. So the EU has laid down the law. They've made their move. But this isn't just going to stay within Europe. Remember what happened with their big data privacy law, GDPR? How companies all over the world had to change how they do things? Well, the AI Act is designed to have that same kind of global ripple effect. And this line, right from the Act itself, just perfectly captures the whole spirit of it. Artificial intelligence should be a tool that serves people, respects human dignity, and personal autonomy. I mean, that really says it all. It's not about tech for tech's sake. It's about making sure technology serves us and our values before anything else. And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? The EU has planted its flag in the ground. They've laid out their vision for what safe, trustworthy AI looks like. So now the ball is in the rest of the world's court. Will other countries follow suit? Will they come up with their own competing rules? Or are we heading for a future where the rules for AI are completely different depending on where you are? The answer to that is going to shape everything.